Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome and thank you for coming. It means so much to me. And welcome to this Do Your Own Red Book presentation talk. And now I'm going to start with one question. What if the images inside you already know how to heal you? And all you have to do is allow them to come through. So this work is really all about that. And myself, that's how it started. That's how it began for me. So before I get any further, I would like to present me, perhaps for those especially who do not know me. So I'm Noelle Imparato, a Franco-American Baltimore-based artist. And for the past 25 years, I've been facilitating what I call painting for life. The work really began for me at a workshop at the SLN Institute. I was basically feeling a lot of anger, and I just kind of signed up at SLN without really knowing too much what this intuitive painting workshop was going to be. But at the third day, something completely shifted. My anger gave way to a state of grace. And so I remember thinking, wow, this feels pretty magical. So I went home and kept practicing at home. And very quickly, the work became so transformative that I couldn't help but share it with others. So eventually, after 15 years of working on my own painting, I started writing a book about it. And then I realized that when painting is followed by writing, something even deeper happens. The images begin to speak. And that's really what brought me here today with this Do Your Own Red Book course. So for me, the journey really began quite early. When I was 15-year-old, I watched a documentary on Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo, for those who don't know him, is a famous 20th century Indian yogi known for the book The Life Divine about integral yoga. So his main message was the destiny of man is to become divine. So for whatever reason, at that age, I really resonated with that. I was in a boarding school where I was told God was out there on a cloud. And so this message of God is within totally shifted my view and shifted my life, because right there and then I made the decision very clearly. I want to do something that will transform people's lives like this film has done for me. So I tried to do that for many years in Hollywood, but somehow it didn't quite work. But then when I found myself at the SLN Institute, for those who don't know that, this is the legendary retreat center in Big Sur, California, the first one in the US retreat center of that style. And for that intuitive painting workshop. So I had a very powerful, very blissful experience. Painted a portrait of my mother as a grotesque, dark mother. And then on the third day of working on this painting, I just went into flow, and the dark mother transformed into the good mother. And I was not sure what I was doing when I was doing it, but I knew something was really shifting. I felt like I had a warm silk dribbling down my spine. And so the experience was so transformative, you know, something really opened in me. So from anger, I moved into a state of grace. And so after doing it for many years, the practice became so amazing and effective that I felt I had to share it with others. And I did. So that's how Painting for Life began. Now, for many years, I was strictly painting, but then I felt that people needed to know the stories behind the painting. So I started writing about my painting, and that turned into a book. Then I realized something very important. The painting opens something, but the writing deepens it. It gives it language, it gives it relationship, and that's how discourse was born. Painting comes first, the image leads, and then the writing follow. So before I go further, I love for us to just take a moment together, because this work does not happen in isolation. It happens in what is sometimes called the we space. So I would like to go around for everybody to briefly share your name, where you are calling from, and just in one word, what's on your heart right now? How many people do we have? Can we do everybody? So if you are quick enough, I think we can maybe invite everybody. So I'm going, you can unmute yourself. And who would like to start? But please be brief, because if not, we will be here until midnight. So just your name, where you come from, and how you feel right now, just in one word.
I'll jump on real quick. My name is Tim. I've been doing the Painting for Life for a long time. I'm calling from Baltimore, and right now I'm good with the world. Not quite sure how else to describe it.
Thank you.
I'm Kay, and I'm in Fair Oaks, California, and I'm rejoicing at the possibility of continuing healing.
Thank you,
Thank
Kate.
you.
I'll go. I'm Christine. I'm in Baltimore, and I'm hopeful at what can come from this.
Thank you, Christine.
I'm Helen, and I'm from Columbia, Maryland. And the word that comes to mind is a journey. I'm very focused on all of this being a journey.
Thank you, Helen.
My name is Jane, and I'm calling in from Zurich, Switzerland, and I'm curious.
Great. That's a great place to be. Thank you.
I'm Renee from Bethesda, Maryland, and I'm also curious.
All right. Thank
Curious, sir.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm sorry. Hi, I'm Leo. I'm in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm curious, but also looking for answers.
Okay, thank you, Leo. Thank you for your Leo Areza. Yeah, okay. Good to see you in You know, we've been corresponding for so long and never met before, so welcome.
Hello. So I'm Shweta. I'm tuning in from India. And I feel kind of crazy because it's midnight here. And somehow, so I'm curious to see what this is.
Thank you.
I'm Ruth Brody Sharon. I'm in Culver City, California. and I've known Noelle for more than 30 years, and I'm faithful.
All right. Thank you, Ruth. So happy to see you.
I'm Maro. I'm calling from Arlington, Virginia, and I'm also curious.
Oh, beautiful, Maro. Good to see you here.
I'm Jared, calling in from Baltimore, and I'm open.
Thank you, Gerard. So nice to see you here.
I'm Olga. I'm from Ukraine, living in Germany, and I'm actually terrified by the idea of meeting my shadow.
Mm. Yeah, well, thank you for being vulnerable, Olga. Thank you for sharing that.
I'm Michelle. I'm calling from the middle of Canada, Ontario, Canada. And I am curious.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Michelle.
Hi, go ahead.
Go ahead, Darlene.
Oh, thank you. I'm Darlene. I'm from Baltimore, and I guess my word would be seeking.
Seeking. Yeah, that's a good place to be as well. Yeah, but beautiful, Darlene.
I'm Tammy from Nebraska, and I'm open as well.
All right, Tammy. Thank you.
I'm Janice from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I've worked with Noelle for a year, and I'm intrigued.
Welcome, Janice. I'm so happy you made it. Yeah. Bettina, I thought you were trying several times.
Yes. Hi, I'm Bettina from Germany, and I'm curious and a little anxious.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Bettina, for being vulnerable as well. Yeah. Okay. Who has not spoken? Autumn?
Hi,
May
I?
I?
Okay.
Hi, I'm Autumn. I'm in Annapolis and I am open-minded.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Autumn.
Goodness.
I'm Julie. I'm in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, Canada, and I'm curious and open and excited.
All right. Thank you, Julie. Lana?
Just a second. Yes, here I come. So my name is Lana, and currently I'm in Sochi in Russia, and it's quite late, so I'm in bed. Sorry for that, but I feel excited and thrilled and curious.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Russia. Oh, that's so wonderful to see so many people coming from so far away. Anyone has not spoken? Victor?
Hi, I'm Victor. I'm calling from Germany. I'm maybe tired. It's close to bedtime here.
Yeah, I'm
But
sorry.
happy to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful.
I'm Amanda. I'm calling from Pennsylvania, and I am on a journey of self-trust.
Okay, self-trust. Yeah, sounds good. Anyone else has not had the chance yet? No? Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. And already I think we can feel something begins to move when we hear each other. And that's really a big piece of the work here, because being seen, being heard is most likely at the heart of our search or wounds and healing desire. So here I'm going to introduce the Red Book. So as you most likely know, this course is inspired by Carl Jung's Red Book. So let me give you a little bit of a background about the Red Book. Jung wrote it over a period of 16 years when he was going through some kind of a nervous breakdown. He had broken up with Sigmund Freud. His marriage was sort of in crisis, and Europe, of course, was in chaos with World War I looming. So he decided to go into retreat, to go inward, and for 16 years, he just journaled about all his crises, and he also painted. And so naturally, this, of course, is a very complex book, way too complex for just a 6-week little course, but we will focus on one of his main ideas or even theories, to confront all our fantasies, alienations, or dreams, and not only confront them as they may appear naturally, but also to induce them. And Jung was advocating for himself the idea of entering a semi-dream state before going to bed. And during the semi-dream state, the reasoning mind quiets down, but it's not completely gone like it is with dream, because Jung liked the idea of tapping into the unconscious, but also connecting it with the conscious. So that's why it shows semi-dream and not full dream. And so for me, I thought we are not going to go in a semi-dream state, but the painting and the act of creativity tend by itself to put us into a place where the thinking mind quiets down. And when that happens, then the other part of the brain sort of kicks in, which, takes us more towards the unconscious. And so that's why I thought that a painting instead of a semi-dream could work just as well, and it's a little bit easier to do as a group. So what really Jung discovered with this practice is very simple and very profound. In 2 words, he would say the psyche speaks in images. And I would, and not just kind of abstract images, but images that relate to the ordinary world, people, animals, trees, landscape, that sort of a thing, or imaginary world like archetypes and demons and angels, you might say. So when we enter into relationship with those images, something begins to transform. So Jung did his red books through writing and painting, and we are going to do the same thing through writing and painting. And now let me sort of give you the structure of the course. It's a 6-week course, so each session is going to be 2 hours. And we begin with a sharing circle on Zoom, so sort of like what we've done, but we have a half-hour circle, so everybody gets a chance to speak. And I will cap the circle or the class at 10 people maximum, so everybody gets really a chance to speak. And then for 1 hour, everybody goes stay home to paint. So the painting is done at home on your own, and then you go back together on the Zoom and we share the painting then. So community and sharing is a big part of the healing process. So in the opening circle, you share what's on your heart, and everybody else listen, but really listen deeply. So there is no crisscrossing, there is no cutting anybody off. And in the closing circle, we look at the painting together. I will share them on the Zoom screen. And in turn, everyone can share their process. What happened during the painting session and how do they feel now that they have done this? So something usually happen, something very important happen. You get the feeling that you are seen, you are heard, and you begin to see yourself. So that's the basic structure. Now, let me take you through the journey unless somebody has a question that cannot wait. After I do the 6-week journey, there will be a time to ask questions where I can give you more detail about the material and things like that. Okay, so the first week we basically focus on presence, mindfulness, because this work is very grounded into being present, being mindful. I have 30 years of Buddhist meditation, so mindfulness is kind of the basic here. You need to be able to not being in your head, but being in your body, feeling your emotions, feeling the body sensation, and working from that place. So the first week, I will focus on explaining a little bit more what mindfulness painting here can be about, not a concept, but as a practice. And for instance, we, like the Buddha suggested, if you are angry, instead of saying, I am angry, you might want to say, there is anger. And that makes a whole difference because there is no I in the equation anymore. Then the anger becomes more a human event, and you make a little distanciation with it. Therefore, you are not completely overwhelmed by it, and you can look at it as you would look at it into somebody else. And you are that somebody else. So mindfulness allows you to take that little distance so that you can really be conscious of what's going on in your body and in your thoughts. And that small shift really changes everything. Now, in terms of painting, you don't need any special training. Matter of fact, you are better off without it because then you are perhaps less focused on trying to make a beautiful painting. So here, we just paint whatever comes up without worried about the result. The only rule is that, and that's probably the hardest thing because there is really no rule in terms of what you are going to paint, except for letting go of control. And that's the hardest thing because we always tend to want to have a beautiful painting, and we think that if we try to make it, composition and stuff like that, it's going to look beautiful. But here, it's if you are able to be totally honest and work with honesty and integrity, that will be passed through your brush onto the paper, and that's what's going to make your painting beautiful. So the motto of Painting for Life is the product is none of your business. So that pretty much resumes it in terms of what am I going to do, for a beautiful painting. All your focus will be being present with what's going on within yourself. And then at the end of the first circle, I will do a 3-minute meditation that will sort of facilitate before the painting. Maybe some images will emerge, or you start moving, into a certain direction. But usually the sharing with other people has already moved something in you. So by the time we have shared and we have spent a few minutes in silence meditation, you probably are more like pregnant with something that wants to come out. And that's the whole idea, that it will come of its own without you trying to do anything specific. And then one other important point is that after the session, you will want to listen to your painting, because if you really make it from the unconscious, you are surprised by the painting. You are not fully, rationally conscious of what you are doing. Of course, sometimes you are, but not always. And there is a lot to be learned, a lot of insight to be gained by listening to the painting after the fact. And that's part of the Jung active imagination, which we will talk about right now. So in week 2, things get a little bit more real. We will explore the technique that Jung developed in his red book. It's called active imagination. So, and with that, we tackle also what's called the shadow, that part of us that is stuck in the unconscious, the place where everything that the ego doesn't want to look at, gets hidden or suppressed. Most of us, we have a shadow. That's kind of part of being human. And for the ego, of course, this is kind of a survival necessity. Its aim is to protect the ego self, to make sure we don't get too threatened or too overwhelmed, and that we can go into our life without collapsing. So we kind of wounds and traumas and everything that's shameful or that kind of a thing, we just tend to shove it under. It goes into the unconscious where it remains hidden. But hidden does not mean inactive. Even so, we may not even know it's there. Unconsciously, it is pushing us into behaving and speaking in certain ways, which might be even surprising to us. We wonder, why am I saying this? Why am I doing this? And most likely it is because you have some old trauma, old wounds, old secrets that are still active, even though you may not be conscious of them. So following Jung's active imagination technique, you go into the unconscious, and by nature, the artistic activity helps you to quiet the rational mind and get us in touch with the unconscious, So that's the good part about painting. It does the work, half the work for us already. And through painting, you allow the parts of you that have been pushed away to begin to show up, to emerge, to surface on the canvas. So not as word, but as shape, colors, images. And that's what makes it also safer, because words are sort of implacable, Once you say something, it's out there for everybody to know it. When you paint, everybody can interpret your painting in their own way. So in a way, painting preserves your intimacy, and this way you feel more free to just express yourself without restraint. And so I feel that's why this kind of a technique works better with people who are not doing so good with talking therapy. But whether you remember it or not, whether you want to look at it or not, the shadow is still active. And this actually happened to me. I had a major experience when I was painting, which is also one of the reasons I wanted to share this kind of a technique, because I had a sexual trauma when I was 9 years old, but it got completely erased from my memory. It was just too much for that little girl, considering the context she was brought up in and the fact that she had nobody to talk to. So the event completely froze. And it took 50 years to come back. When I was actually painting, it just came back, like if I was reliving it with all the details and all the feelings in my body. But now I was an adult. I was no longer a child, so I was able to hold it. And that's one of the reasons why we do this active imagination. We are no longer children, and we can hold our old wounds and traumas. And once we have reconnected with these split parts, we get the feeling that we are more whole. And we are, because that's actually the deeper aim of this technique, is what Jung called individuation, or becoming whole. So how do we get there? Week 3, I will do a big guided meditation called the Healing Temple. And this is like a 20-minute guided meditation where you get a chance to go down a river and encounter your inner healer. So it could happen that you see an archetype or a figure that you know perhaps, or a guiding force in your life. Anyway, when you meet that healer, you sort of get the sense that that's also your inner healer. And usually that triggers a pretty shifting experience. We move from witnessing to meeting something within us that can heal. So then you become aware that you have an inner healer within yourself. You don't have to go to Shangri-La to find something to heal you. All you need to do is look within. And so in week 4, we go on with the archetype. The work opens. We may encounter figures, guides, animals, presences, archetypal figures like demons and angels, or just ordinary people in your life, or whatever shows up on your canvas. And it's not all about darkness. It's also about the light. You know, there is both in the unconscious. It's not all shadow. It's also spirit, light, grace, joy. So that's another reason why we do this work. We free ourselves from the dark, and we open the door to the light and the joy. Because as Carl Jung said, you know, the unconscious is not just a basement, it's also a cathedral. And your book will become your cathedral where you can go back and restore yourself. And now we move to week 5, which is restoring. So we begin to bring the writing together. We focus on restoring our life. You know, and this week we will do a 10-minute guided meditation inspired by Jean Houston to move from the image on the page into a new narrative. So every week you've spent already some time at home doing some homework, which is basically journaling, listening to your painting, dialoguing with your archetypes or with the character, the figures that have showed up into your painting. So you have a lot of journaling that you have been doing, but each painting is different, so it may feel a little bit scattered around. So in week 5, we are looking and discovering perhaps that it's one story. And doing the journaling, I would suggest to do what's called automatic writing. You take your pen and you just keep writing without lifting the pen, without worrying about commas or grammar. You just do with the pen what you do with the brush, just let it flow without censoring, without editing. Just let the words flow, just like the paint. And so the story begins to reorganize itself as you do that. And hopefully by week 6, you create one final painting that begins to see the thread. So things change in our life, but the thread of our life doesn't. We have some kind of a direction. And this work helps you, if you haven't found it yet, it helps you to find your direction in life, your purpose in life, you might say. And you begin to see the thread within everything, the theme that emerges out of your painting. And then you weave it together into a coherent story. And it's a coherent story of wholeness, because you have gathered all your shadow and you have touched into your light, your spirit. So now you become this full person. You are embracing all of yourself and not pushing away the shadow, embracing it and seeing how you can be grateful, first of all, because originally it has served you. You have wounds that are hidden, because then you could walk around life without collapsing. So this is some gift that you got from this behavior. And there is also deeper gift that you get from behaving the way you did. So all this work comes up as you do the painting. And basically you come out with a story that's coherent and whole, which is what Jung calls individuation, becoming whole. And then as a bonus, we just have a bonus week for people who may want to come. And we basically assemble all your paintings and your writing into a book. You can use tips on YouTube or things like that, or everybody can do an assembling any way they want. Some people do even a virtual book where the pages sort of flip like if it's a book, but it's on virtual. And then we gather together and we share our books and we celebrate our accomplishment. And now you are the proud creator of your own red book. Okay, so that's pretty much it for my presentation. Now I would like for you to be able to ask questions or anything that's on your mind.
Noelle, when do we do this? Is it a Saturday, or do you have a date set aside of when it will be?
Yeah. This is on Sundays. Every week will be on Sundays starting April 12th. And it's at 3 to 5 Easter time. EDT. Also make sure that you get the correct correspondence, because sometimes different countries don't change time for spring or whatever. In the US, we already have moved the time. Okay.
Hi, Noelle. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
This is Darlene. I don't know if you can see me on the screen. I might be blurry.
Yeah, Darlene, yeah.
But my question is, what materials are we going to need?
Okay, the material should be very simple because since the product is none of your business, it's best to have material that don't cost a whole lot, so you don't have to be worried about, ruining an expensive canvas or expensive paints. So I suggest using paper. First of all, we are doing a book, so it would be smart to use paper. And the size of the paper is up to you. If you are afraid of not having time to do something big, you can use just a regular office paper size, or you can do a little bigger. If you want, I can show you the red book from Jung. Hold on 1 second. I have it here. Well, this is not a little book. This is it.
Oh, wow.
So that's a pretty good size book, but that's not a bad size for anybody who wants to do a painting of that size. And I forgot how big it is, but I can send you the dimension if anybody is interested as get into the closer to the class. And in terms of paint, I suggest acrylics is easy, or tempera paint is what I traditionally use in the studio, but I realize sometimes it's kind of not so easy to mix the colors, but it's either or. I would say tempera paint, which is, the kind of paint they use in schools, and it's pretty cheap, and it's also odorless, and you can also clean the clothes, and it's very easy to spread on the paper. I suggest to use paint and brush rather than Crayolas and crayons and things like that, because there is something very luscious about the paint, and you also can cover a fairly good surface in 1 hour. And so it's more satisfying, I would say. And it's also more fluid, it goes with the hand more easily, and you don't have to be paying attention, you can be sort of let it flow.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I just noticed that I just was looking at my calendar and I'm not going to be available for the last 2 weeks. And this is the first time you've done this, is that right?
No, this is a third time actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So do you foresee doing it again in the future?
We'll probably do one in the fall.
Okay.
But if you want also, will you be able to come for the bonus, or which session will you not be able to come?
The 5th and the 6th.
The 5th and the 6th?
Yeah, the last two.
That would be the 10th and the 17th, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the two that I can't either. One is Mother's Day and the other is a graduation.
Yeah. There is also the one solution is I have extensive notes of each of the information that I give on each class. So I can do that, but of course then you don't have the sharing experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one probably in the fall, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I definitely want to do it though. I think the whole point of being together is really such a huge part of it.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah. Any more questions?
Is there a cost,
Yes,
Noel?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Olga.
I have a question. I'm visiting your painting for life where we do like a lot of similar things, and I do other expressive arts sessions. And I'm curious how like to keep the integrity of the process as long as I keep
Can you repeat that? I
exploring.
cannot. Can you speak more clearly? I can't understand. Sorry. Olga?
Is it better now, Noel?
Hmm?
No? Is it better now? Do you hear me better now?
Can somebody help me? I have time. I don't know. I cannot hear properly.
Maybe she can write it in the chat.
Yeah, write your question in the chat, Olga.
Can you hear me now? Is it better?
Yes.
No? Okay. So my question is, as long as I visit like painting for life and other expressive arts practices, like how do I keep the integrity of the process of this red book? Like it all flows like one from another. I do a lot of like expressive arts processes.
Yeah, don't you worry, because anything you do, you will do the painting during the session, and after that you just journal about it, and whatever you learn from other courses and techniques, it all mix into the same thing, it's all psychological, spiritual healing and awakening, so I would not be too worried about that.
Okay. I also want to share, I did already a drawing just while we were talking.
Oh, good. Can't see too much because, now we do. Oh, wow, beautiful. You are a doodler, huh? You need to keep your fingers active when you listen.
Yes, I do.
Prolific, Olga. Very good. Thank you.
Noelle, I was just asking if there was a cost or
Yeah,
how that works.
the cost is on a sliding scale, 120 to 150, and then there is early bird discount. If you sign up today before midnight, it's $90 for the 6 weeks. And I can put on the chat. I will put on the chat or I will send you the information if you if you email me that you want to take the course. Just email me, and I will give you all the information about how to pay for it. There is Venmo or there is PayPal. I believe the PayPal. I have a new PayPal account, and I believe it's active, although I haven't used it yet. So one way or another, if for technical reason you cannot pay before midnight tonight, you just tell me about it and I will keep your early bird discount anyway. Okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention how amazing it is to see so many people from so many different places in the world. And because right now we really need some world togetherness, you know?
Thank you, Tim. Yeah, that's very nice of you to say so, and I agree completely. And so will you be actually coming yourself to the class?
I think I can. I got to work it out. I'm teaching a couple classes at Goucher this semester, so I got to make sure I have time to, do all the lesson plan stuff and so forth, and block that time out on Sundays. So.
Okay. Well, then let's see.
Noelle, can I just mention for the Canadians that usually Venmo doesn't work, but PayPal should work now.
Yeah, well,
Just so people know.
that's why I opened the
Thank you for that. Thank you.
Any more questions? You are your curiosity is already satisfied?
I guess I'll just say I can't wait for the fall because I can't do it now, but I'm really, really look forward to doing this when I can.
Me
Christine.
too.
All right, all right.
I'm super excited about it, and unfortunately, I'm away for almost a month, right in the middle of it. So I think I'll have to wait till the fall, but I really want to do it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So you have two for the fall now.
For the fall, yeah. So still send me an email and let me know that, and I can, give you a little more information. And everybody, I will send you the catalog, perhaps from our show last year, and that gives you already a little bit of a feeling of what some people have, the testimonial from people who have done it last year.
That would be great. And if you have some sense of the dates in the fall, not that you'd have to commit to them, but if you have any idea, that would be helpful so I could plan around them with my other things.
Well, I don't have at the moment, but if you want to tell me what would work for you, I can maybe keep that in mind.
Well, the Sunday nights are generally good, actually. The Sunday night pattern is generally good. I just happen to have a big trip planned.
Yeah, Sundays, you mean like 3 to 5 is good for you? Where are you from?
I'm in Switzerland, so it's 9 o'clock at night for
yeah.
me. That's fine.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so late night for you is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime is fine. Sunday nights are good too, but any time in the fall is fine at this point.
Okay. So if there is no more questions, maybe we just can move on to closing the circle. Yeah. Ruth, you want to say
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for everything.
Yeah, I think this is really wonderful, and my son did work with you many, many years ago, Noelle.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I don't know whether you remember that. He was
what's his name?
Alexander Sharon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was before you were doing the painting and the writing. It was just when you were doing the painting.
Yeah.
And I saved all his paintings because they were quite exceptional, and because my daughter is an artist, he was feeling kind of, what should I say, inadequate, growing up, because most people pointed to her work, but his paintings revealed that he had a strong talent as well for paintings. I saved them, and so I showed them to him not long ago to remind him of his capacity. I know we're not doing it for show, and we're not doing it to prove that we're good artists, but I think some people will discover that they have artistic talents that they had either submerged or denied for many years. So.
Yeah, that's the idea. Everybody has an inner artist, and as you say, Ruth, we are sort of conditioned to not trust it because maybe we don't do it the way it's supposed to be done. But with this approach to intuitive painting, the beauty of the painting comes, as I mentioned, really from being able to be completely honest with how you feel, and that will show on the painting, and people will resonate with that, and that's what will make the painting beautiful. So
I think also adding the element of writing now, which is new. I don't think you were doing it then. I don't recall you doing that.
no, painting for life. I was doing just the painting. This red course is from last winter. That's the first time I moved into that. I did a book myself, for many years. My husband kind of jokes about it. It's been forever. But that's when I realized that how much you gain from the writing, from listening to your painting, from also when you have a whole body of painting, you can, some painting may mirror each other. You can research also if you come up with like a Greek archetype, Greek god or goddess or mythological figure, or from India or from whatever culture you are, then maybe, you are familiar with the image and it comes up into your painting, but you don't quite exactly know what they deeply represent. So you might want to research, and that also opens up new information, and it elevates your own life to the mythic level.
Well, one thing I wanted to add is that a psychologist friend of mine discovered something very unusual in the automatic writing. So she was teaching a course for many years where people would use their non-dominant hand to do automatic writing. In other words, whatever came, like you said, you let it flow, you don't censor it, you don't worry about spelling, you just write.
Yeah.
And that was a definite voice from the unconscious that was so helpful to people. And they didn't do the painting. So I can only imagine that the combination of painting and doing the writing is just enormously powerful. Unfortunately, I can't do it right now. I would love to, but I can refer you to a group of people in Los Angeles, the LA Mastery Circle, that I'm sure there would be many people there interested. So we'll talk about that privately. But
okay, very good. Yeah, love to.
It's wonderful to see you and to see what you're doing. You're always in service.
Okay, thank you, Ruth. Well, I see people are leaving the room, so maybe we should give it a closing here. And as a tradition, I end my sessions with a little ritual, which is to remind us that what healing we do for ourselves is not just for ourselves, it's also for the whole world. So if you want, you can open up your mics. Open up your mics. And you can repeat after me. May all beings be happy.
May
all
beings
be happy.
And we give each other a big virtual hug. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And I look forward to seeing your messages and see you in the classroom starting April 12th.
Well, can you stay on for a moment with me?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Stay on with me. It's Ruth.